right, gang? It's your boy Sue. Yes, we're back with another video. Y'all, check us out. How far would Luffy get in Dragon Ball? Now, this has been an ongoing topic for a minute. Ever since Luffy got his Gear 5, I say that Luffy gets as far as, at most, probably early Namek Saga. I say he gets as far as that. But because he has these incredible hacks that he could turn the material or the environment into what he wanted, that could be problematic. So I say he gets as far as early Namek Saga, because I know Frieza easily would, obliterate him. We know that. I know that. We all know that. He doesn't touch, even with his new powers, I feel like he doesn't touch the Android Saga yet. He doesn't do that yet. Unless he could destroy solar systems and stars and shit like that. But, it is what it is. But he could probably change the material of the sun, like if he really wanted to, because he turned lightning into rubber. So if he could turn lightning into rubber, who's to say that he can't turn, attacks such as like Kamehameha or Death Beam into rubber? So this could be a tricky one. Anyway, y'all, I've been away for a little bit because I've been working heavily on this fusion project that I'm working on. So I'm gonna show like a little picture right there so you can see how I'm cooking up this picture real quick. If you guys want to see it, it's on my Instagram and whatnot. Let's blow it up. I've been working really hard on it non-stop. Anyway, let's get right to the video.
Just how strong is Luffy from One Piece compared to the Dragon Ball universe? This is a question that is asked pretty much daily by anime fans around the world, and is something that I've seen on my timeline almost daily as well.
Also, I remember part 4 for Goku vs Saitama is out. I'm gonna react to that today. I'm gonna put those 2 videos out today, alright? Alright.
Luffy would have destroyed Goku and Yamcha would easily beat Luffy. But how far would Luffy actually get in the Dragon Ball universe?
Okay.
Find out in today's video. But before we get down to the nitty-gritty of the matter, let's comb through the rules I have set for this series. Yes, I do actually plan on making more of these videos to piss off more fandoms in the future.
Hey, I'm not gonna cap. I'm all for the negativity, feel me? I'm all for the toxicness.
Rule number 1, power levels are bullshit. Most of you probably know that Dragon Ball is filled with these power levels. They are essentially a numerical value that dictates how strong someone is. But even within the Dragon Ball universe itself, the power levels make little to no sense, honestly. So instead, I will look at the character's skills, special abilities, and feats. This is to ensure that the comparison is as fair as it can possibly be. Rule number 2. I will be moving through the antagonists of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super in a chronological order. I will not include Dragon Ball GT in these videos because it just creates too many weird hassles and problems. Rule number 3.
I mean, you shouldn't include Super either because it creates so many weird problems and hassles as well, because the whole scaling is weird in Super. But go on.
I will do my absolute best to ignore events that don't make sense later on in the story. Rule number 4. I will not let character bias affect these videos in any way, shape or form. I am a Dragon Ball fan myself, but I will not let that affect my judgment in these types of videos. Rule number 5. These videos are all in good fun. Please don't get too butthurt if this video does not match up to your expectations. Instead, head to the comments and start a discussion there to pitch your opinion again.
Listen, y'all can have a whole debate in the comment section. Sometimes I might look at it, sometimes I might not, but some people do bring up really good points. Yeah.
Instead of others. Remember, this is a video about anime. It's
not that serious. It's not that serious.
To start things off, let's talk a little bit about Luffy's feats and his abilities. Luffy ate a devil fruit that allows him to use his body like it was made of rubber. This ability allows him to be above regular humans in terms of both offense and defense. Luffy has been shown to possess above average intuition and reflexes. He has been able to anticipate and counter incoming attacks that would have been impossible to counter for a regular person. Luffy can take a brutal beatdown. Series of attacks that would destroy a regular person would be survivable by Luffy. Luffy has strength that far surpasses that of an average person. One of his greatest feats of raw strength so far is the ability to push two massive buildings apart when they were about to crush him.
So you're telling me, wait, so let me get this straight. So you're telling me that he could be crushed by massive buildings, but he's made out of rubber? And his greatest strength feat is pushing two buildings apart? That's it? That's, in terms of strength, that is his greatest feat for strength. Like, that's it? Even with Gear 5?
It's safe to say that your average Joe would not be able to do this. Luffy has the ability to switch between gears. Gear second. Luffy accelerates his blood flow, which grants his body more oxygen. This results in Luffy's overall physical strength, speed, and defensive abilities being enhanced. Gear third. Luffy can focus and contain his power in a body part of his choice. Set body part increases.
Oh, that was just his base, like without the gears. Okay.
In size, and Luffy has been shown to be able to destroy entire buildings using this technique.
I like Gear 4.
Gear 4, Boundman. Luffy turns his skin even more rubbery, which results in the majority of attacks bouncing off of him. His defense and offense are also increased while using this gear. This is a more balanced version of Gear 4. Gear 4, Tankman. Luffy turns his body even bigger and more rubbery. This is a variation of Gear 4 that focuses more on defense while sacrificing offense. Gear 4, Snake Man.
Gear 4 Snake Man is probably my favorite version of Gear 4. He has like 3 versions of Gear 4. That's kind of like Super Saiyan. You know, like 4 versions of Super Saiyan. Okay.
He keeps his body smaller, allowing for much greater speed and offensive power while sacrificing defense. Luffy has one glaring weakness though. He is especially susceptible to any form of hypnotism or mental attack, as shown by Django's hypnotism and Miss Golden Week's collar strap being very effective against Luffy. Now, it's important to note that I did not include Gear 5. The reason for this is that it is impossible to skill a character with the ability "My imagination is the limit." This just opens too many loopholes for it to be a fair comparison.
Yeah, I feel like we don't exactly know. Like, this is the first time we've seen that transformation, first time for the abilities that we've seen. So we need more insight on what he can actually do in that form. That's how I see it.
Argument of he could just imagine he is stronger, LMAO, is not and will never be
an argument. Yeah, it's not an argument. I
understand that this is how the ability is written, but it just causes too many unfair scenarios which would just be unfun to imagine or discuss. But let's move on to the first matchup for Luffy.
General Blue.
General Blue is the first enemy that appears in Dragon Ball who has superhuman powers. Let's take a look at General Blue's abilities. General Blue is a seasoned military-trained individual, and he possesses tactical thinking capabilities and...
Bruh, I actually... Based off this fit, this is where Zamasu got his outfit from. Like, at least the pants version. Like, think about it. The pants are black, the shoes are white. Basically, Zamasu's fit.
Combat skills that are expected from military-trained individuals. General Blue is able to use an arsenal of weapons very skillfully thanks to his military training. General Blue has shown that he is skilled in martial arts to some degree. General Blue has the ability to paralyze his opponents by looking at them. The ability only works for as long as General Blue is able to look at his target without blinking, and the ability is shown to be ineffective against opponents who are significantly stronger than General Blue himself.
That's how hacks work in Dragon Ball. Like, yeah, like, that's how it works in Dragon Ball. Like, yo, hacks do not work on people who are way stronger than you.
In a serious fight, General Blue would simply not stand a chance against Luffy. Luffy outclasses him in every single way.
Yeah.
Even if General Blue is able to paralyze Luffy, how would he damage him?
Yeah.
General Blue has no real way of damaging Luffy's rubber body, so the win easily goes to Luffy for this matchup.
Yeah.
Demon King Piccolo is the big bad boss of OG Dragon Ball. He was able to almost enslave the entire human race before being stopped and sealed away for a long time by Master Mutahito. Let's take a look at what Luffy is up against. Demon King Piccolo can use his ki to fire destructive energy waves, create protective shields, fly, and more.
It also said that Demon King Piccolo can destroy the planet. I'm not sure if they meant like he can destroy like all life on the planet or like completely blow up the planet. I'm thinking it's the first one. He could destroy all life on the planet, but not destroy the planet itself.
Demon King Piccolo is capable of creating mutated offspring. This offspring is weaker than Piccolo himself. Demon King Piccolo possesses superhuman speed, offense, defense, and endurance. Demon King Piccolo is a Namekian, which allows him to regenerate lost limbs and non-lethal physical injuries while he has the stamina to do so. While
Like, if King Piccolo got his head cut off, he can't regenerate that. He's not Cell. What Cell got is completely on a different tier of regeneration. Like, he don't even have organs.
certainly a much bigger threat than General Blue, I still believe Luffy could defeat the Demon King with relative ease. The battle would drag on for a bit, with Piccolo being able to regenerate himself for a while, but in the end I believe that the Demon King Piccolo would just run out of stamina first.
Nah, if Luffy punches his head off, which I feel like he can, he's not... Piccolo's dead. Like, Piccolo died from Nappa's little blast attack thing, right? Or giant storm. He died from that. So, you know, I'm just saying.
Luffy has several power-ups in the form of his gears that would allow him to outlast the Demon King pretty easily. With that, Luffy has officially beaten OG Dragon Ball. Now let's see how he will handle Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Some people feel like Naruto can't even mess with Dragon Ball, like, within itself. I mean, I thought about it too for a little bit, but then I'm like, I don't know. Like, they're not that strong, feel me? If we're going to use articles and whatnot, nah. OG Dragon Ball is not really that strong, but Dragon Ball Z becomes completely different.
Raditz is a Saiyan invader that came to Earth to check upon his brother Goku. It took Piccolo sacrificing his arm and Goku sacrificing his life to put an end to Raditz. For context, Raditz is about 4 to 5 times stronger than Demon King Piccolo. Let's take a look at what Raditz has to offer in terms of abilities. Just like Demon King Piccolo, Raditz can use his ki to fire destructive energy waves, create protective shields, fly, and more. Raditz also possesses superhuman speed, offense, defense, and endurance. Like every other Saiyan, Raditz is capable of transforming into the Great Ape when the conditions are met, increasing his power tenfold. Set conditions being a full moon or exposure to a large amount of blood waves. This is where the real battles begin for Luffy. Raditz is a joke in the Dragon Ball community, but he is a force to be reckoned with in other anime universes. Raditz can use his ki attacks to obliterate entire plots of land in a flash. In a fight between Luffy and Raditz, I still think Luffy could grab a W, utilizing his Gear 3 and possibly needing some variant of his Gear 4. I do believe Luffy could overpower Raditz in a fair fight.
Okay, so Raditz is it? Okay, so Piccolo at this stage could destroy the moon. And I feel like Luffy's power doesn't grant him that ability to do that, but then it's like we're not talking about Gear 5, we're just talking about Gears 1 through 4, and I don't think he has like an attack that could like destroy the moon. Like the greatest feat that One Piece has in its verse is the fact that Whitebeard could flood the world. Like he could flood it or something like that. He could do that, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, hold on. It just stopped. Wait. There we go. Yeah, I don't think he could like actually, you know, destroy a moon. And again, like the One Piece verse is kind of different. Like things are bigger than what it's supposed to be, right? Like there's a lot of people who's like 20 feet tall naturally with these weird body shapes and whatnot. And the planet, I heard, is kind of big. So it's like 4 or 5 times bigger than the regular Earth. So again, I'm not entirely sure how that, you know, works. Like there's a whole lot to consider when you try to do stuff like this, right? So I can see it. The only reason why I see Luffy beating Raditz is the fact that Luffy has more in his arsenal. And he has a lot in his arsenal. Raditz doesn't really have much. He's never destroyed a planet. Even though he has like the power to destroy a planet, he's never destroyed a planet.
Vegeta and Nappa are also Saiyan invaders that came to Earth in order to obtain the Dragon Balls and have their wish granted. It took the entire Z Fighters consisting of Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, Chaozu, Piccolo and Gohan just to hold back Vegeta's henchman Nappa. In the end, they were absolutely powerless and had to wait for Goku to arrive, but not before Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha and Piccolo had sacrificed themselves to save the Earth. Nappa is about 4 to 5 times stronger than Raditz, and Vegeta is roughly 15 times stronger than Raditz was. Let's take a look at their abilities. Just like Raditz and King Piccolo, Nappa and Vegeta can use Ki to fire destructive energy waves, create protective shields, fly and more. Nappa and Vegeta also possess superhuman speed, offense, defense and endurance. Like every other Saiyan, Nappa and Vegeta are also capable of transforming into the Great Ape when the conditions are met, increasing their power tenfold. Said conditions being a full moon or exposure to large amount of blood waves. Vegeta also has the ability to create artificial blood waves, which allows him to transform into the Great Ape at will. Now, Luffy is up against one hell of a brick wall here. When Vegeta and Nappa first arrived, Nappa just wiped an entire city on the face of the planet for shits and giggles. Not to mention, it took the entire main cast just to keep Nappa entertained until Goku arrived. The only way I can see Luffy beat these guys is if he goes into Gear Force Snake Man immediately and manages to kill Vegeta before he can create the Blood Waves.
I don't know. I feel like I don't think Snake Man is strong enough to actually fight this Vegeta. I know I said I will have Luffy during the early Namek saga because, you know, Captain Ginyu, Raccoon, all those people are extremely strong. And if anything, Ginyu, if Ginyu feels like Luffy is stronger than him, right? Which I don't think he is, but if he feels like he is, he could just switch bodies with him, and Luffy can't do nothing about it. But then you have, like, you know, the fact that Luffy has observation haki where he can look into the future for like 2 minutes. But then again, like, the way speed works in Dragon Ball is different because you can have people who's so fast that even if you had observation haki, they could bypass it because they're that fast. So, you know, it's different. Like, you got to consider everybody's skill set when comparing the two.
If Vegeta manages to create the Blood Waves and force Nappa and himself to become Great Apes, Luffy will straight up lose, period. When transformed into Great Apes, Vegeta and Nappa could raise entire countries to the ground in a matter of days.
Now, see, the only thing that this person here isn't considering is the fact that Luffy has his own unique abilities or has crazy abilities. Because I feel like since he's a Dragon Ball fan and I'm a Dragon Ball fan, but I dibble and dabble and try to, like, research different abilities that could possibly work or will work really, really well. And technically, any ability will work really well in Dragon Ball. It's just that, you know, how hacks work in Dragon Ball is if I'm way stronger than you, your hacks probably won't do much, but it will make the fight, you know, drag on a little bit. But if Luffy's relative to anybody in power, because he has a lot of different types of abilities, he's probably going to win. That's how I see it.
I'm going to give Luffy the benefit of the doubt here and say that he could win if he manages to blitz Vegeta before he can deploy the Blood Waves.
He got observation haki, so...
Captain Ginyu is the highest ranking officer in the Frieza Force. He leads a squadron of elite fighters known as the Ginyu Force. Ginyu was one of the biggest threats the Z Fighters encountered on planet Namek, and for good reasons. Ginyu is about 6 times stronger than Vegeta was. Let's take a look at what Ginyu has to offer in a fight. Just like everyone before him, Ginyu is able to use Ki to fire destructive energy waves, create protective shields, fly and more. Ginyu also possesses superhuman speed, offense, defense and endurance. Ginyu is widely considered to be a highly intellectual fighter with good tactical skills and insight. Ginyu is capable of swapping bodies with his opponent. This allows Ginyu to get out of dire situations. Now, Ginyu has a very, very good chance of defeating Luffy. Just through power alone, I think Ginyu straight up has the upper hand here. Ginyu has conquered multiple entire planets for Frieza without much effort.
Yeah, like, when you make the comparison, like, what Captain Ginyu has done versus what Luffy has done. Like Captain Ginyu theoretically could probably take over the Earth and One Piece easily. He probably could, right? But people say, "Oh, how can you damage somebody if you don't have Haki or what's the other one? Logia?" Like that's what One Piece fans say. I'm like, so how are you going to damage them? They're extremely durable. It doesn't matter what you got. Like that's how it is in the Dragon Ball verse, right? Like I know magic in Dragon Ball is something ridiculous. Like it's highly effective, especially when you have ki and magic. You have the two of those together, and you're really strong. Because I'm using Babidi and Moro as an example, and Majin Buu. Like when you're really strong, you have ki, and then you have magic on top of that. It's something completely different.
The only real chance Luffy has against Ginyu is if he pulls off the same move Goku used. When Ginyu uses his body change technique, Luffy could trick Ginyu into swapping bodies with a weaker opponent or a local wildlife. In order to do this, Luffy would have to beat Ginyu down enough to the point where Ginyu even considers the possibility of swapping.
He got observation Haki.
Taking into consideration Luffy's unusually high luck, I am going to give Luffy the benefit of the doubt here. Luffy could beat Ginyu, however, not without copious amounts of sheer luck.
Yeah, but I feel like Ginyu could beat Luffy easily.
Frieza is known throughout the cosmos as the ruthless emperor of the universe. Frieza possessed 4 forms at this point in the series. His first form, which is about 4 times stronger than Ginyu. His second form, which is roughly 8 times stronger than Ginyu. His third form, which is about 11 times stronger than Ginyu. And his fourth form, which is, I kid you not, 1,000 times stronger than Ginyu was. Let's just take a look what Luffy is up against. Just like Ginyu before him, Frieza is able to use ki to fire destructive energy waves, create powerful protective shields, fly, and more. Frieza has been shown to be able to use telekinesis to move physical objects using his mind. Frieza is capable of transforming into suppressed states that allow him to conserve stamina and trick his opponents. He can transform at will into more powerful forms.
Now, if we did include Gear 5, I feel like even if Frieza blew up the planet, Gear 5 Luffy theoretically could just make the explosion like rubber or something like that. Cause he made lightning like rubber. He turned the clouds into rubber. He changed the whole composition of lightning and clouds. Something that you really can't touch. He turned it into something that you could touch with its properties still intact when he attacks you. So it's like, I don't know, like if he blew up the planet and Luffy had Gear 5, I don't think that's gonna kill him. That's how I'm seeing it, at least.
Frieza has the ability to survive without oxygen. He can breathe in the nothingness of space. Now, I'm going to be frank here and say that Luffy just stands no chance against Frieza. Frieza is quite intelligent and will transform when he needs to. The argument that first form Frieza would be defeated carries no weight, because Frieza would just take his final form from the start if he felt he needed to. Frieza is so powerful that he can destroy planets without any effort. No matter what Luffy pulls out, he can never beat Frieza.
Nah, see, listen, this is why you do your research. Like I said before, he hits that Gear 5, we're talking about something completely different, right? Like, I don't see, like, I've never seen a power like that where you could just change the material of something that you're not supposed to touch that could harm you, and you turn it into rubber. Like, he could turn an explosion into rubber, bro. Like, I feel like that's if he gets strong enough. Like, that's how I see it. If he gets strong enough, then sure. But to say that he could never beat that Nagasaki Frieza, I don't know. I don't know never, but he probably could eventually. Gear 5 is his hope.
The abilities Luffy has right now. Even if, and I mean a very big if, Luffy would manage to drive Frieza into a corner, Frieza could just blow up the planet Luffy is on. Frieza would survive the blast and be able to breathe in space.
Yeah, but every time we've seen Frieza blow up a planet, he took damage from it. And then, you know, his body was messed up. And yeah, like he has to be away from the planet he has to fly off the planet and then blow it up, and then he's fine because he could breathe in space. But Gear 4, I don't think he has anything that could like stop Frieza. No, but Gear 5, sure. I think Gear 5 could put up a fight.
Even if Luffy were to somehow survive the planet-sized explosion, he would suffocate without oxygen to breathe. My belief is that Luffy would be able to keep up with Dragon Ball characters until the mid to late Namek saga. There will undoubtedly be some frustration with this conclusion, but I want everybody to remember that Luffy was able to match up to characters that could literally destroy entire cities, countries, and even continents if they wanted to. Not many characters are able to do that, and I think Luffy can be proud of himself being able to keep up with characters like Vegeta and Ginyu. What we need to remember is that the writing of Dragon Ball characters is just fundamentally different compared to other anime. Dragon Ball characters are just contextually ridiculously strong. Do you think I ranked Luffy fairly? Do you think the outcome of certain fights would be different? Leave a comment down below and share your opinion on the matter. Feel free to discuss how you think Luffy would match up in the Dragon Ball universe with other commenters. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It would really help get my channel featured in the YouTube algorithm and you would never have to miss another video. With all that being said, I hope each and every one of you will have a wonderful day, keep being awesome, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Alright, I feel like this video was decent, but it could have been a little bit better. Like, you know, it wasn't biased, but it didn't tell the whole thing. Like, why certain ability. I feel like if he understood certain abilities for Luffy, and I don't understand everything for Luffy, but I could say that certain things would go a certain way, you know. Anyway, it's your boy Sue. We're on to the next video, y'all. Peace.